Hello rockman of internet. This is a follow-up video on how to simplify and get common denominator for trigonometric functions and identities. There is two methods that I wanted to mention in this follow-up video to my first one regarding trigonometric identities. First one is notably splitting fractions into two fractions. So for example, if a test question gives you this question, secant of x minus cosecant of x over secant of x, basically what it is telling you is you're splitting secant of x over secant of x minus cosine of x over secant of x. And essentially what you did here is you made this into a 1 and then cosine x over secant x. This has been crossed out. It has turned into 1 over cosine over secant, which is what? We don't know. So we need to find what this thing is. We find what this thing is because cosine over secant. What is secant? Secant is 1 over cosine. Okay, we fix this now. Cosine times cosine over 1. Well, we know that this is cosine squared, right? Yeah, that's cosine squared. And when it's 1 minus cosine squared, cosine squared x, we look over here. We try to find cosine. What is 1 minus cosine squared x? It is this thing over here, which is sine squared theta. That is our answer. Sine squared theta. Because of, what's it called? Finding a common denominator and then essentially just cancelling these out, making these into this, and then turning this identity into this. Now we have a single trig identity. We're going to go on to the next page where we're going to practice getting a common denominator. So if we get sine of x plus cosine of x times cotangent of x. Essentially, we need to see how we approach this. You look, okay, we have cotangent. Cotangent is just cosine over sine. Okay, well, what do we do with that? We do sine, we rewrite. Plus cosine of x is times cosine of x over sine of x. Got it. There we go. So we perfectly put this in line. So now what we need to do is just cross this out. We have we don't. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Sorry for misleading you guys. Cosine of x, cosine of x. This becomes sine x plus that's cosine squared x and over sine x. So now we have to find the trig identity for this one. Find trig identity. Okay. We're going to go cosine squared. What is cosine squared? It is 1 minus sine squared. Oh my god, revolutionary. 1. Actually, we don't need to do that. We don't even need to find a trig identity for that. I think you can just convert this. We can just do, wait, no we can't. Oh yeah. Yeah, we can't do that. Can we? Huh. Wait. This is making me question a lot of things. No, it's actually, no, you don't need to do that at all. Okay, first you find common denominator. Oopsie. Find common denominator. I'm solving this as I go along. So, yeah, sine of x over 1 plus cosine of squared over, sine of x. Okay, now what? We find common denominator. Common denominator is sine of x over this thing, which is sine of x, but this is we find common denominator, we do this is 1, so we have this, and then this is just sine, because it's sine squared. Actually it's sine of sine squared x, because sine x times sine x is sine squared x, and then plus and then divided by sine is 1, and 1 times cosine squared x is cosine squared x. We have cosine squared x. There we go. Now we are getting somewhere. So we know that cosine squared x, I think it was here, cosine squared x plus sine squared x equals 1. So that's just 1 over sine x. And when you have 1 over sine x, you know that 1 over sine x, 1 over sine is always cosecant. So now you have cosecant of x, which is CSC of x. CSC of x. Why do I even? CSC of x. So that is essentially how you solve, not solve, but get a common. Why is my handwriting so bad, my friends, my cavemen? I require your blessing. I must get better handwriting. Common denominator and add. There we go. That is how you add using common denominator. There's another example I can use for this. I will show you right now. So let's say you have, let's split this line first. I will split this page. First, we must solve this. So sine squared theta plus sine squared theta times cotangent squared theta. First, you just look at it and you're like, okay, let me try to do this in terms of sine and cosine so I can actually look at this properly. So you turn cotangent into cosine over cosine squared x over sine squared x. That's how I would do it. And then now you have stuff in terms of sine and cosine. So sine squared theta plus sine squared theta is times cosine squared theta. It's supposed to be theta. Theta over sine squared theta. Sine squared theta. Yeah, sine squared theta. Okay. Now what do we do? Now we just have to look at this and we're like, okay, what is this? You cross out sines. Gone. What is sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta? It equals 1. Oh my god, so easy. So now you have an answer of 1. I hope this was helpful to anybody who needed extra review. See you, caveman, later. Learn math. Good math. Goodbye.